Back on the radar today, much like yesterday, very summer setup that we're going to be talking about going into the month of June, the start of meteorological summer, and we're going to be right on track weather-wise. Let's take you to First Alert AccuTrack radar, and you can see where we have some of that rain showing up. And as expected, areas across East Alabama, some of those pop-ups, and right now storms moving into parts of Chilton County. Let's go in for a close-up, and around Birmingham, things are pretty quiet. It looked like one shower perhaps may have popped up around Colberg earlier. It only showed up for a scan or two, and then it just fell apart. But when you look at this, the wet weather, it's very, very localized. A couple of showers around Clay County and quite a bit of storm activity down in South Alabama, Andalusia, along the 331 corridor. If you have any friends or family traveling south between Andalusia and Florala, there's going to be some heavy rain impacting that drive back over towards Georgiana and those areas there down traveling back or traveling to Destin or down towards Panama City. But the pop-ups around here, they're not lasting long. There's a little bit of rain cross right there at Highway 77. There's a Talladega Superspeedway, and you can see back over towards Logan Martin, rain falling apart and a couple of pop-ups. Ashland right now tracking a shower, and we had a storm here that developed from some stormy weather back into Pine Level and places like that. The storms dissipated, and then we saw some redevelopment in here in the parts of Chilton County. So a little bit of rain. You may be hearing some rumbles around Clanton. The rain's been all around this, but over the next 60 minutes, it looks like areas to the southeast will continue to be the more favorable zone for the pop-up showers and storms. Here's a look at that First Alert forecast for this evening, and once we lose the peak heating of the day, it looks like rain chances drop off, and for later on tonight, just warm and muggy, and more of these pop-up showers tomorrow, and even greater chance for some scattered storms I'll be showing you coming up in the 7-day forecast. But quite a bit of rainfall last week for parts of our area. In fact, when you look back at the month of May, most of the rain that we received during the month coming during that last event that we dealt with. Let's head over to meteorologist Matt Daniel for a look back at May's rainfall.
All right, today's the last day of meteorological spring, and of course, you're wondering how much rain did we actually record for the month? Well, not too bad for most spots thanks to the wet weather pattern we had last week, but for whatever reason, there's like a little random hole over parts of Jefferson County. So we didn't get that much rain in Birmingham. We should normally record about 5 inches. We are only about 2.5 for the month, so a little bit of a deficit in that department. Tuscaloosa, you did pretty well. You had a 5 1/4 plus, and normally you're about 3.5 inches of rain for the month. And in Anniston, you're a little over 4, and you almost recorded 5 inches. So overall, not too bad as we go into meteorological summer, which of course is the months of June, July, and August. So how much rain do we typically see as we go into the month of June? Well, normally pretty much the same as May. 4 3/4 or so. And our dry months, by the way, of course, in the fall as we go into September and into October. Let's talk about some June heat statistics for Birmingham. And this is a look at our average high and low temperatures. So for June 1st, we normally will see highs in the 86-degree range and lows in the mid-60s. And by the end of the month, of course, we're continuing to heat up. Around 90 degrees is where we typically average for the end of June, and lower 70s. If you're wondering when we had the hottest day recorded in Birmingham in the month of June, well, 106 degrees, and that was set back June 29th, 1931. Hopefully, you don't have to see that kind of heat. That would be great. But you can see the drought monitor, and what's interesting is that little bullseye I was mentioning for Jefferson County showing that it was abnormally dry conditions where for whatever reason just didn't record as much rainfall in parts of the area, but definitely saw a good amount of rain in parts of West Alabama, parts of East Alabama. Still abnormally dry up towards the northeast. And of course, the past 5 days, all the rain has been situated along the northern tier of the country and the east coast. And you can sort of see a ridge of dry weather in parts of the southeast, Texas, and of course, as you go out towards the southwest, towards the Vegas and LA area. So how much rain are we going to see over the next 5 days? Well, same spots that normally get rain, probably going to get some rain. In areas that don't see the rain, not going to see much. And that's out towards the southwest looking pretty dry. rain chances still possible up to the north and right across the heart of the country where we have a cold front over the next couple of days. That's where we're going to see most of the heaviest amounts of rainfall. And then, of course, we're going to be watching maybe parts of Florida Peninsula where if we see anything tropical, that could spread some heavy rainfalls into parts of that area as well. But it's going to be pretty dry. And, of course, our best rain chance looks to be on Thursday. Otherwise, you're going to have to water those plants as we go into the weekend.
All right, more to come here on First Alert Weather Extra. We're going to take you to Minnesota, see where that tornado and a lot of that severe weather we were telling you about that was impacting parts of the Midwest. We want to show you some of those impacts there from some of the severe weather, and we're tracking what's left of Agatha and showing you where that's going now. A 70% chance of development. We go beyond the 7-day forecast and some hot call safety at that time of the year as those temperatures rise. Lots of 90s on the map today. First Alert Weather Extra continues after this. The Next Big Thing gives you a heads up days ahead of the next big storm system. The Next 24 gives you the most accurate and updated look at tomorrow. And the Next 60 gives you a 60-minute advantage against Mother Nature. Knowing what's next, days, hours, or minutes away, this is why we First Alert.
When we declare First Alert Weather Day, it's all hands on deck. We're on your side and in your hand with the First Alert Weather app. While Wes and the rest of the team track changes moment to moment, the app keeps you prepared and safe with video and alerts for your neighborhood. And if the power goes out, no worries, you can stream us anywhere. It's easy and it's always on. Stay ahead of Alabama weather. Just scan and tap and have the First Alert Weather app. This is why we First Alert.
On Good Day Alabama, we treat severe weather with the highest priority. It's more than just meteorologists. Everyone plays a part. Having more reporters in more places takes you beyond the First Alert, showing you the impact that we see on radar. We're live in your neighborhood when you need us. On air, online, and on the app. That's the advantage of having the most reporters on your side. That's the advantage of Good Day Alabama.
Our lives revolve around planning for what's next, like the next ball game.
One hot dog with ketchup? It's the same with weather. That's why we're on your side with the next big thing, the next 60 and the next 24. Knowing what's next, days, hours, or minutes away.
This is why we First Alert. Who puts ketchup on a hot dog?
Getting live breaking news and local updates has never been easier. That's because we're on your side with the WBRC streaming app. Need updates between newscasts? You can catch up quick here. And when we're live on TV, we're live here too. Just search WBRC on your Roku, Amazon Fire, or Apple TV. WBRC Fox 6 News is on your side.
Well, cleanup today in west central Minnesota after a suspected tornado touched down there. The tornado hit late last night, or possible tornado, of course, will be surveyed. Drone video showing the extent of that damage. Officials say at least 75 structures were totaled or severely damaged. One man describing the moment that storm hit.
We went underneath the crawl space and we heard a couple big thumps, and I thought it was history.
4 days located north of Minneapolis. Only 160 people live there. Fortunately, no serious injuries reported. And another big weather story we've been following is Agatha, and that system bringing flooding rains to parts of Mexico there. It's amazing just how much, just look at the rain that one of those tropical systems generate. Flooding and the wet weather associated with those things. I know we often talk about the winds and the sustained winds with tropical systems, but the number one killer with all tropical systems, the flooding and the heavy rain. And of course, you get all that rain that flows out of the higher terrain and out of the mountainous areas there across southern Mexico and down into Central America. And actually, that can really weaken these rapidly. And it's amazing just how quickly, with very little land area, these things cross, how quickly they can weaken. And Agatha now is a much weaker system. What's left of it, though, may try to reform. I want to bring in meteorologist Lauren Linehan. And Lauren, you've been following some of the new data coming in, and now we're seeing increasing chances that this may redevelop into a tropical cyclone.
Yeah, Wes, as we go forward in time, that data, that information that we use to build our forecast is just going to get better and better. That's why we always tell you, if you see these posts on social media that's showing like a Category 5 in the Gulf 2 weeks away, you don't necessarily want to trust that, because you can't believe something that's 2 weeks out. You can maybe start to look for trends, but as we get closer in time, zone in on maybe 5, 4, 3 days, you are going to get those better forecasts. So this is the latest from the National Hurricane Center. As Wes was saying, Agatha has moved inland and it has weakened significantly. So we've just got the remnants of Agatha over land. You've got this mountainous terrain in southern Mexico, and so that's going to prevent the storm from being organized. It's going to disrupt that central core. But what's going to happen are the remnants of Agatha are going to be moving back out over the Bay of Campeche or into the Yucatan Peninsula. And so the National Hurricane Center has highlighted this area for potential redevelopment of Agatha as we get into the next 5 days. So a higher chance than what we saw yesterday. Even within the next 48 hours, a low chance of development, but it certainly looks like something could be a possibility as we move into the weekend. Now, I want to go ahead and stress to you, if you have any plans on the Alabama Gulf Coast this weekend, if you're going to the beach, even if you're here at home in central Alabama, this does not look to be a threat to us. But the system hasn't reformed yet, so until that happens, our weather models aren't going to have a great handle on where exactly it's going to go, how intense it's going to be. Models do a lot better once you have that defined center of circulation, so we don't have that anymore. But it is generally showing a consensus that it looks like it's going to be moving into the Gulf or at least skirting the Caribbean, and we've got two different potential outcomes here. It does look like maybe somewhere, at least South Florida, could get in on some rain by the weekend. The question is, how far north in Florida could it go? Also, a lot of people have been wondering, well, if it redevelops again, would it be Agatha? Well, Agatha is one of the names in the eastern Pacific Basin, but now the Gulf of Mexico is part of the Atlantic Basin. So if it did redevelop into a tropical system, it would be called Alex. So Agatha transforming to Alex once it hops over into the Gulf. It can re-strengthen and get to that point. So what I'm showing you here is the GFS model. If you ever hear someone say the GFS model, you're wondering, what does that mean? Translation, it's the American model that we have, one of our long-range ones. So this is showing the potential for the remnants of Agatha to reemerge into the Gulf, maybe move through the Caribbean, and then eventually maybe skirt South Florida over the weekend, bringing some rain on Saturday, and then moving back out into the Atlantic. So this looks like it could be more of a Caribbean system that we could be dealing with. But now I want to show you our European model. This one kind of shows maybe the system could become a bit more robust as it moves into the Gulf of Mexico. You got some really warm water down here, but it is showing that not only would this potential system move towards Florida, but it could move into central Florida, bringing some rain for the weekend, especially on Saturday, at least some tropical downpours. So if you're going to the Florida Panhandle, right now it looks like you'd be okay, but let's say you've got plans this weekend, maybe go to Disney World, Universal Studios, maybe headed down towards Miami, Tampa, and those areas, central and South Florida, I would definitely pay attention to the forecasts. But remember, what I'm showing you here is just one model solution. Regardless, I think whatever we see spin out of this, it's going to be bringing rain to someone. It may not go as far north as central Florida, but South Florida could certainly be seeing some rain. And then the European model is showing that the remnants of Agatha, or whatever it may end up being, would move back out into the Atlantic. So it's certainly something worth watching over the next few days. I will say again, this does not look to be a threat for central Alabama or the Alabama Gulf Coast, but we are beginning hurricane season tomorrow. June 1st starts the Atlantic hurricane season. If you're wondering, well, what was the deal with Agatha? That was in the Eastern Pacific, and it actually begins a couple of weeks ahead of time than the Atlantic hurricane one, which starts for tomorrow. But when has Mother Nature ever listened to a calendar anyway? So we'll be giving you plenty of updates. We've been sending updates out on the WBRC weather app for today, so just make sure you stay tuned. I know if I were going to Disney World, I would not want a tropical system to be coming in, but I mean, it rains in Florida anytime in the summer anyway. You're going to get that afternoon thunderstorm if you're going to Disney World, but at least you're at Disney, right? Instead of being here.
There you go. Yeah, and Lauren, I just wanted to ask you here, looking at this, it seems like at least it's a fast mover.
Yes, yeah, that is
Yeah.
the good thing. I mean, you saw both models were taking it out in the Atlantic, whether that's a little further south or and more into the central Atlantic off of the southeast coast, but it's showing it around that time by Monday. And one reason that is likely going to happen is we're going to be seeing a dip in the jet stream. And those, if you think about that, that is going to help to steer this storm out to sea. And it's also going to prevent it from coming here to central Alabama. So while folks in Florida may be dealing with tropical downpours, we may be dealing with a nice weekend.
Well, that's a good thing. You know, when these systems, they speed up like that, that often translates to a weaker system. So hopefully that will pan out. I remember back the early 90s, there was a tropical storm. You remember Alberto and all the flooding that caused across South Georgia and into South Alabama. You know, you get into this time of the year, sometimes even those tropical storms, they can be slow movers and cause some big time problems.
Right. I mean, you think about, it doesn't have to be like Hurricane Harvey, which was just parked out for several days. It can be a tropical depression and tropical storm not moving much, and that alone can be a heavy rainfall producer. So certainly if you're vacationing in Florida or have friends or family down there, something to watch. Florida Panhandle, though, right now looks like it should be okay.
Well, good news. And thanks a lot, Lauren. And of course, for those areas impacted, hopefully that faster trend that we see in the forecast data will continue. And we're going to talk about our local forecast next 7 days, and we go beyond the next 7 days and check out some of the long range data as we talk rain chances. Right after this, you're watching WBRC First Alert Weather Extra.
Every morning on Good Day Alabama, we know the news that matters the most to you is the news that hits closest to home.
And we know that to tell the best story means going to where the story is. That's why having more reporters in more places is so essential.
Giving you more local stories that impact your family, your school, and your safety.
On air, online, and on the app.
That's the advantage of having the most reporters on your side. That's the advantage of Good Day Alabama.
I hear from people all the time with questions about healthcare, their insurance, and the safety of certain treatments. I'm Morgan Hightower, and I investigate these stories because if I were being taken advantage of, or if my family couldn't get the help they needed, I would want to know how to take action. That's why WBRC Fox 6 News investigates. We're on your side, getting answers, keeping you informed and safe. Contact us when you need a team on your side.
Get pinpoint locations down to your street level on the First Alert Weather app. You can download by searching WBRC in your app store. That's accuracy you can plan on.
I hear from people all the time having problems with their landlord or worried about being ripped off by a bad business. I'm Josh Gann, and I investigate stories like these because if I had questions about protecting my finances or how to save more money, I would want the best advice available. That's why WBRC Fox 6 News investigates. We're on your side getting answers, keeping you informed and safe. Contact us when you need a team on your side.
Get First Alert weather and breaking news. Follow us on Twitter. Search at WBRC News.
Get First Alert weather and breaking news. Follow us on Facebook. Search at WBRC News.
All right, time to talk weather around here, and over the next few days, the chance for scattered storms coming back. Notice here on the First Alert 7-day forecast, temperatures expecting very similar conditions to like what we felt today. Low 90s out there. The heat index is higher. In fact, tomorrow, I know we're showing 91, but that heat index is going to be closer to 97 tomorrow. So yeah, it's going to be a very steamy day. Try to get an early start, take frequent breaks, and may want to hold off later in the day to get that walk in and wait on things to cool off. There's a chance we could see a couple of pop-up showers again. We still have that 20% chance of precipitation in the forecast. But you look at this 7-day, the next best chance of rain is on Thursday as we have a front moving in, and that's going to bring a better chance for scattered showers and storms. Yes, scattered. Still, it's going to be kind of hit or miss. I can't guarantee everybody's going to see rain. But I would, today, tomorrow, next couple of days, plan on watering the garden, watering the tomatoes. It looks like like the rain is still going to be kind of questionable in many spots. As we look at the radar right now, you see what we're talking about. Most areas rain free, and even where we do have rain, some of these pop-ups just tiny, very localized. One of those deals where you look in the backyard, it's raining, the front yard, the sun's shining. That's the way it happens around here sometimes, but we have a couple of those small pop-ups happening down around Chilton County and also in Talladega County. Here's a look at forecast data, and a lot of what you see here is heat driven. So once that temperature starts to tumble, it's already started to go downhill. Notice by 9 o'clock, not seeing much out there tonight. Looks like dry, just muggy setup for the overnight. Those temperatures in the morning close to 70 degrees. And then by 11 o'clock, lunchtime, we could see a couple of pop-ups. Better chance after about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, that peak heating of the day. And again, it is going to be steamy out there. Look at the temperature here in Tuscaloosa showing 94, here in Hamilton 93, 94 in Aliceville. Again, keep in mind, heat index could be close to 100 in some of these areas back off to the west direction. And then as we look on into Thursday, that's the next best chance of rain. Again, I mentioned a boundary moving in. It's still scattered, as you can see, a lot of rain kind of peppered on the screen there, and this will continue into the early evening on Thursday. Maybe a strong storm in the mix with some intense lightning. No organized severe weather out of this, but hopefully many areas will get a little bit of rain. And of course, where we do see rain, that's going to bring some heat relief, and the temperatures will take a bit of a tumble by the weekend, a little bit closer where we should be. Average highs around 85. We'll be closer to that by the time we get to Friday and Saturday. But as we talked about, we will be monitoring, as Lauren noted, that system down in the southern Gulf of Mexico. We'll be monitoring that as it moves on to the east, but expected to stay well south of the Florida, Alabama Gulf Coast at this point. We'll keep you posted. And looking at the muggy meter, again, very humid, and this is what's driving up that heat index the next couple of days, but it takes a tumble just in time for the weekend. I know we still could probably use some rain, but Saturday, for all we have going on out there, looks dry. We got USFL out at Legion Field this weekend. Should have, we will have some nice weather for that. Just, hot during the day, 89 degrees, but less humid there for Saturday. We've got Alabaster City Fest happening this weekend, so nice weather for that. And also for the Garth Brooks concert Saturday night, that temperature will be cooling off into the 70s, but not seeing a lot of rain into Monday and Tuesday of next week. And I want to check in with meteorologist Jill Gilardi. Jill, you've been looking at some of that long-range data. Tell us we're seeing at least a little bit of rain as we go beyond the 7-day forecast.
Yeah, looking at the American model, it does show that chance, so we can hope for that. We don't want to end up with a dry spell, and we were lucky last week, getting a little break this week, but we are seeing, again, potentially a dip in the jet stream, and that could mean a cool front and rain and storms moving through around the 8th, so we'll watch for that as we look beyond the 7-day. As we go farther into time, 9th, 10th, not a whole lot going on. Actually, maybe running a little bit cooler than normal since that flow is still coming in from the northwest. And I don't see anything tropical just standing out or jumping out at us according to the GFS model, and then maybe some hints of rain around the 13th. So certainly it doesn't look completely dry, and the Climate Prediction Center agrees, and they think, you know what, we could be trending towards above normal or close to that in terms of precipitation during that stretch of time. So we'll be monitoring for that, and even the model data hinting at small rain chances here and there as we go 8 to 14 days out. Of course, we fine-tune those when we get closer, and sometimes those 20 turns into 50% chance. So this time of year, a lot of pop-ups, and it looks like we're going to be trending above normal with our temperatures. Again, this is according to the Climate Prediction Center, and there's been hints at some dips if we do get that cool front and that dip in the jet stream for the about the 8th, 9th day out from here. We could be looking at those temperatures a little bit lower. I mean, this model hints at upper 70s, low 80s. So there is that possibility. I do like to see that there's still that chance for little subtle changes in our temperature and maybe some drops in the dew point temperature, which could equal cooler overnight lows. So we'll see if we'll get 50s out of this, but something to watch certainly, because eventually we get into, June, July, especially August. we don't really see any cold fronts. They don't make it down here. So we'll take what we can get for now and enjoy those moments. As you were talking about, Wes, that little cool down, a little less humidity for the weekend sounds fantastic.
It certainly does, Jill. I was just looking here, the record high 95 on this date set in 2011. So it certainly can be a lot hotter, and we'll take it. But it's nice to see a little bit of rain there just beyond that 7-day forecast. I was out doing mowed lawn today, and I was noticing the backyard already. It's getting a little crispy. I'm going to have to water this evening. All right, as we look ahead, of course, we've got the changes coming for this weekend, a little bit drier. We'll check in on some of those weekend events happening, and we're actually going to talk about some hot ball safety coming up as we continue right here on First Alert Weather Extra. Stay with us.
Getting live breaking news and local updates has never been easier. That's because we're on your side with the WBRC streaming app. Need updates between newscasts? You can catch up quick here. And when we're live on TV, we're live here too, giving you more ways to get caught up with everything happening where you live. Plus, exclusive videos from your First Alert weather team. It's easy to use and it's free. Just search WBRC on your Roku, Amazon Fire, or Apple TV. WBRC Fox 6 News is on your side.
You've got enough to worry about every day. That's why the First Alert Weather Team is on your side, so you can plan with confidence and take the worry out of weather. With exclusive First Alert AccuTrack, we pinpoint storms before they arrive. And with Weather Every 6, you are always informed. Alabama's weather changes fast, but we're working even faster, updating and alerting you first. We know your plans are important. This is why we First Alert.
Every morning on Good Day Alabama, we're on your side, trying to get you where you're going safely. First Alert Traffic updates you on slowdowns and gives you alternate routes. Having more reporters covering the roads you drive on gives you even more info to help you know more about why it happened and when it will be cleared. On air, online, and on the app. That's the advantage of having the most reporters on your side. That's the advantage of Good Day Alabama.
I get calls and emails all the time from people wanting to know how cities, counties, and the state are spending their tax dollars. I'm Jennifer Horton, and I investigate how your tax dollars are being used because I don't want your money or mine wasted or fraudulently spent by politicians in power. That's why WBRC Fox 6 News investigates. We're on your side, following the paper trail, asking the tough questions, and giving you the facts. Contact us when you need a team on your side.
Let's check the UV index. A lot of folks getting outside this time of the year, and I'm one of them. Hey, we have, it's pretty high, very high, in fact. It's a 10 for the next several days, so you might want to put on that sunscreen, wear a hat, just protect yourself because, yeah, you don't want to end up with skin cancer. Hey, here's your dog walking forecast for tomorrow, and I would get that dog out there early if you can. 74 degrees at 7 a.m., but does get up pretty high into the upper 80s to low 90s. The dew points are a little bit more elevated over the next few days as well until we get into Thursday, as our weather team's been talking about that front coming through. But it's going to be muggy, and keep in mind, as hot as it is, if you get on the asphalt, it could really burn your pet's paws. So it's 140 degrees with just 95 degrees on the temperature. Concrete's hot. Even the grass can be hotter there. So, take that into consideration when you're walking your dog as well. So the early morning hours probably your best bet for that. So that's a look at what's going on over the next couple of days. Let's head back to more of Weather Extra.
All right, time for that 7-day forecast again, and scattered showers and storms possible next few days, especially Thursday. As Mickey was talking about, that front we're tracking is going to bring a good chance of rain. It's going to knock the temperature down a little bit closer to where we should be, especially on Friday. But this weekend, highs near 90, dry weather expected for Saturday, maybe an isolated sprinkle on Sunday, but not seeing much rain through early next week. The big story will be the hotter weather. We'll have more on the chance of wet weather here coming up. Of course, there's that system that we're tracking in the tropics. Will it become a tropical depression or tropical storm over the Gulf of Mexico? We'll have updates on that again tonight at 9, 9:30, and 10. Be sure to join us on WBRC Fox 6 News.